Articulation Radio. Articulation. Salutations! Welcome to another exciting episode of Articulation Radio. I am your hostess, the eternally grateful Goddess Sage. You know how we do things here at Articulation Radio. We will kick off the top of the day's episode by taking a quick glance at the news headlines. And today's news segment is sponsored by bepublished.org.
These are three of the news headlines and events I saw today, Tuesday, May 25th, 2021, when visiting EliteValuesNews.com on your behalf. Ireland announces plans for exit from COVID lockdown. bepublished.org celebrates Goddess Sage's third CD release titled Earthbirth and the 48th book release for Arthur by Leah Taye Maljaza titled Fighting Love. And today is Africa Unity Day, also known as Africa Day. On today, as well as every day, we encourage you to celebrate the world heritage that originates from this rich continent, as well as to show appreciation for its resources, especially its people. Those are three of the news headlines and events I saw today when visiting EliteValuesNews.com on your behalf. Be sure to check them out any minute on the hour because, as you know, so much happens in this world of ours, and the staff here at EliteValuesNews.com makes it a point to keep you abreast of as much as possible. Check out the headlines anytime you please. Head over right now. I am Joaquin Mann, reporting live.
Looking for the latest news? Visit Elite Values News. EliteValuesNews.com has all the latest news and information. Check out the headlines hourly. EliteValuesNews.com. Visit now.
Do you want to be published? Are you looking for a high-quality, low-cost way to be published with a fast turnaround? Visit bepublished.org to publish today. www.bepublished.org. bepublished.org. Publish today. Books, movies, and music.
Listeners, we love you, we hear you, and I am definitely glad to be here with you today on another fresh episode of Articulation Radio. Of course, we have for you in store a lot of great music as well as an interview with an author, the author of, I'm not going to even tell you, you know how I like to do you. I'll tell you after I play this song for you. How about that?
But here you are with the dawn. I wish I'd forget you, but you're here to stay. It seems I met you when my love went away. Now every day I start by saying to you, good morning, heartache, what is new? Stop haunting me now. 'Cause I can't shake you, know how. Just leave me alone. I've got those Monday blues straight through Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache. Here we go again, again. Good morning, heartache. You're the one who knew me well. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Never. So good morning, heartache. Do sit down. Have tea with me, but do go, please.
ARTistReview.com. All artists need a platform. The Artist Review makes sure you have the one you need to put your work in front of your fans. ARTistReview.com. Artist, REVUE.com.
Came upon a story
peoplewarmer.com. Book your travel today. peoplewarmer.com for wherever you want to stay. peoplewarmer.com, wherever you want to play.
You have a product? Let them help you increase sales. You have a video? Let them help you make it go viral. peoplewarmers.com. peoplewarmers.com.
That lovely inspirational piece you heard was Born and Graced by Star Valarian featuring Little June. And we kicked off today's episode of Articulation Radio with Good Morning Heartache by yours truly, Goddess Sage on vocals with Myron Mills on piano. Now, the title of today's episode is Centuries of Pain and Promises, and I'm going to touch on that in a moment. But let me tell you real quick, people, head over to Facebook and Amazon right now, just real quick, head over to Facebook, Amazon, type in Centurion, A Tale of Crucifixion by Joe Mack. Hi, people, we have the honor of talking to Mr. Joe Mack today. He is a phenomenal senior and exemplary human being, people, but I'll get into all of that later. But I want to touch on the fact that there are a lot of people, and I'll make it brief, a lot of people who are holding on to old pain, even pain that is not a result of even something they've experienced directly, but, or even people are so empathetic to where even if they read or see something that took place with someone else, whether it's right now, here recently, or something contemporary, or whether it was a long time ago, something that was in the past, or something that's even ancient history, that it really affects them deeply. But people, whether it's you going through something and it's been all your life, or for this certain period of time that seems to extend, do know that even if it seems like there are promises that are not yet fulfilled, that promise to rescue you, that promise that you'll be okay, that promise that you'll prosper, then do know that nothing lasts forever, not even the bad times, which is, everything eventually changes. No, not only do the good times come and go, so do the bad times. And some people will say, well, no, they both always exist at the same time. It's just a matter of which we choose to focus on. And I say even that is true. But we know that when we're going through pain, the other option is not always visible, and often it's because it's not always present. And that's where the power of the promise comes in, and the reason why our hope relies so much on it. And a lot of times we find it's because of the hope that we get from the promise that we've been given that sometimes we're even activated to do what we need to do. But as we always know, at the end of the day, faith without works is dead, and you can't get anything or be used as the vessel through which something can be done if you're not willing to do it, because you're waiting for it to be miraculously taken care of for you. You've been enabled. You've been given everything you need. And do know that no matter what you're going through, not only are you equipped to come out of it, but you're in a position to where that very thing can work out for the good of you. And we can go on with various examples where something bad happened, and because of it, then the person did something different, or, did something that they needed to do, and then something good happened. So, it's always good and bad in everything. It's just a matter of what we choose to focus on, really, because that's where our energy is going to be directed. And with everything bad that happens, just give it its moment. Don't let it go beyond that, okay? You deserve more joy and more joyous times, and you cannot have it if you're hanging on to the pain. Step into the promise of the happiness and the joy by knowing that if you cannot work it out or take care of it, the people who can do it will do it, and you're going to be okay, all right? Now, people, moving on. Now, before I play for you In the Catacombs, well, no, I'm going to go ahead and instead of talking more, just go ahead and bring on the author, because it's so much information I want to get from him, and I'm sure it's so much you want to know from Mr. Joe Mack as well. And again, the name of his book is Centurion, A Tale of Crucifixion. You can find it on Amazon. You can find him on Facebook, Joe Mack, JoeMackHigh, and Centurion, Centurion, A Tale of Crucifixion. Head on over right now. Hang tight. I am about to play In the Catacombs for you, and that is by More Than Family, and then I'll bring on the author for you. Hang tight.
Are you looking for grant writers, technical writers, creative writers, academic writers, any kind of writers? Head to the Writers Consortium. Their website, writersconsortium.us, www.writersconsortium.us, the Writers Consortium, writersconsortium.us, for all of your writing needs. Think of it, they can produce it for you. They are the ghost writers to the top people.
You are listening to Articulation Radio. Head on over to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts.
Phone lines are open right now at Articulation Radio. Call 312-899-6237. That's 312-899-6237.
Have you always wanted to start a business but can't seem to get it off the ground? Need help building a website? Contact The Conglomerate, 972-880-8316, or visit theconglomerate.work, theconglomerate.work.
If you are a savvy senior who's seeking a lifestyle club that's centered around you, visit sittingroom.xyz today. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz, where savvy seniors socialize, get event invites, organize among themselves, as well as obtain merchandise and get engaged to create new things. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz. Visit today.
Articulation Radio is very honored today to talk to the author, Mr. Joe Mack. Hi, he is the author of The Centurion, the book that I told you all about earlier, The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion. Mr. Joe Mack, hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great so far.
Very good, very good. And now tell the people where you are and how beautiful that weather is today on this gorgeous day.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a beautiful spring day in Georgia.
Oh, yes, and that sounds good, too. And now, Mr. Mack, I want you to, from the door, let people know why you decided to, at this moment, go through all the trouble that you had to go through in order to get this writing out, to, get it out of your head and out of your heart and there onto paper and on the computer, as well as to find someone to publish it or to go through the process for publishing, and then now you're promoting your work. So I would like for you to, for the listeners, let them know, how are you able to do what you do? Because you're doing things that a lot of people say they want to do, but that they're not able to do because of the hardships in life. So how are you able to overcome and achieve?
Well, my eyesight was failing. I was getting up close to 90 years old, and owned an accounting practice. So as my eyesight was failing, I had to resign it. So I ended up with time in the morning and time in the evenings with essentially nothing to do. I had been attending Sunday school regularly for 80 years, and the 50 of those years, the teachers were retired ministers, professors from a neighboring college in the Bible department, and people of that nature. But most of my life was spent working with, I guess, medium and low income people, subcontractors and painters and machinists. And based on my life experiences, I looked at the world differently than the teachers of the Sunday school class. And this gave me an opportunity to address issues without fear of successful contradiction.
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I can see how, yes, within that in itself, it's empowering to have it to where you don't really need any outside validation. You are able to walk within the calling that you know has been placed upon your life, and to do so boldly and courageously. And if more people would do that, then we will see more and more people accomplishing things, not only in their youth, but also when they're seasoned, they will still be able to be doing things and not use that as an excuse. And let's talk about that, the fact that you are a member of the silent generation, and you're someone who, you know, even the baby boomers were able to learn from. How has that adjustment with the technology been for you, as far as, I would say, that technological gap using the smartphones, as well as, of course, continuing to use the computers that you all already were well-versed with?
Well, it's a problem. I'm vision impaired, so even the telephone is a challenge, but it's going well. And I was able to use a word processor, even with my eyesight failing, and I could use the word processor. So a friend, a client of mine, and almost as old as I was a retired English teacher from the University of Tennessee, and so I asked her to help me in my writing. And of course, I was a major in business and economics, and I needed help to. I needed her to help me learn how to write prose, I guess you would call it, since I was trained to write business letters and reports. So she helped me, and we ended up with a 700-page novel. And I had two other clients that were friends of mine, much younger. One of them said, if it exceeds 300 pages, it'll never sell. So they proceeded to pare the novel down to 350 pages. And in a sense, they made a silk purse out of a sow's ear. And so we didn't have much trouble getting it accepted.
Beautiful. And I love the fact that it was such a testimony of not only you persevering and finding ways to work the technology and, you know, being flexible with the process, but also everyone on your team were also flexible with that and, you know, working with the technology and everything. And that's really how it's done. You know, as with anything, you know, we always have to find the ways to perform the tasks that are required for whatever outcome we're seeking to have. And people, you have to be sure to support this work because, as you know, this was not only a labor of love, but it's also something that's very exemplary. Here's a work that you can have to not only inspire you, but to also inspire other people, even your own parents, to keep going and to try what it is they want to do, that it's not too late. If you want to be an author, you can become an author. If you want to put out a movie or CD, you can do those things, whatever it is. If you want to start painting and do an art exhibition, you can do those things. There are really no limits other than your own willingness and your own thinking, because the way will be made as long as you take those steps and you're willing to do the work. And now, people, I want you all to do the work and head over right now to Amazon.com or whoever is your favorite book retailer, because you do want to grab up a copy of The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion by Joe Mack High, and that's spelled Joemackhighgh. And, of course, The Centurion, Centurion, and then you'll see that subtitle there, A Tale of the Crucifixion. Definitely grab up Mr. High's book, and not only make your purchase today to get yourself a copy, go ahead and grab up a few copies. That way you'll have a copy for your library. You'll have a copy that you can leave out that people can inherently, pick up and read. And that way, if it ends up walking out of the house, it's not a big deal. Then you can also bequeath that third copy, give it to someone as a gift, someone who you know that that this work will be able to touch their souls and will be able to strengthen their path. And again, this book is available, The Centurion is available on Amazon as well as from any book retailers around the world. Now, Mr. High, I want to ask you real quick, what was the hardest part about deciding to do this work and then to see it through to fruition? What was the hardest part of your fulfilling your dream?
The hardest part, I believe, was I had to learn how to write. I guess you would call it prose. I was an accountant, and I worked for a CPA firm for a good while. So I wrote audit reports and technical material like that. And so the retired English teacher, I sat down and would write a section, and she would criticize it. And so she was like a DI. I had a hard time learning how to write. I guess not write reports, but write prose acceptable to an editor, so she could pare it down. Mm-hmm. So that was the hardest part, is learning how to change from writing audit reports to a novel.
Yeah. Yes. And with your novel, tell the people, I would say, how do you summarize your work? Give the readers a little glimpse into the work without, of course, giving them the whole kitchen. So, yes, or give them a little taste of what you summarize the novel as, or, what your motivation was.
The novel's based on, I think it's in Acts 4, the centurion. It mentions a centurion who lived at, I think, Caesarea, who was the commander of the Italian cohort. So he was a centurion. His name was Cornelius, who commanded the Italian cohort. So, and then there was also, I think in Matthew, in the crucifixion, it mentions a centurion being present at the crucifixion. Well, based on my experience, and I guess 80 years of thinking about that, I thought I would, since he commanded the Italian cohort, that would be an elite unit. And so he was well known, and so I had to get him educated. So I had to start with his grandfather enlisting in Pompey's Navy to learn how to read and write. And out of that service, he received a land grant, and so he became quite a successful farmer. And so Cornelius's father was a landowner and was able to send him to college. So Cornelius was a centurion with an elite cohort who could read Greek, Latin, and Aramaic. So I had to get him up to that where he could converse with Pilate and with Jesus with some facility. Let's see. And so that basically is the story on how to develop Cornelius as a educated centurion who was able to converse with Pilate and Jesus and Judas. And I wanted to make Pilate a good administrator and make Jesus' right-hand man. So I think Judas came out, I think, as a good character, and so did Pilate. That was part of my objective, is to give them a place in history a little better than what they received in the Synoptic Gospels. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love how with your doing so, you not only have been able to achieve your goal, but you've also gone in and had it to where you've added that bit of relativity to where the goal of most Christians in general, which is, of course, to win over souls, to acquire additional believers for the kingdom. I think that your book will be able to do that very thing because of the fact that it does, I would say, kind of fill some gaps, as well as it adds that bit of relativity that will be able to make it live for people and help them to be able to kind of see the activities and the things that took place and be able to really see how those things could apply in current day. So I think that it's a very good approach and a smart method that you used. And even though I know that, it went through Chop Shop City, prior to it being the version that we've all gotten. But even that says a lot for the quality of writing that you and your team had done. Because as we know, when you're going through and you're deleting things from things and you're changing things, you always run into the possibility of deleting the wrong thing or changing the wrong bit of data, and it throws off everything. But for your team to be able to go in and scale the writing back, but also still keep that quality and did not, I would say, alter the integrity of the story any. I think that is a very good feat, and definitely hats off and kudos to your team on this. People, you have to be sure to grab up this book, The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion by Joe Mack. And don't just buy the book. After you go in and get your copies, go back to Amazon when the book arrives and leave a review. Go ahead and drop that review. And you can, even when you have the opportunity to meet the author, definitely get that book autographed, have it with you, and go ahead and let the author know some of the comments that you have. And as a matter of fact, Mr. High, are there any upcoming, whether it's virtual events or in-person social distancing events that you'll be having where people can look forward to getting their copy autographed or can pick up autographed copies?
Well, because of let's see, I was tested positive with the virus, and living in assisted living, I survived, but my assisted living place did not. So on January 1st, I had to move to Atlanta, and I'm trying to get organized where we can have some discussions in the Atlanta area. So I'm working on that, and if they will access my webpage, Joe Mack High novel or The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion, we'll try to get the word out on when that is. But that's my next goal, is to have a discussion of the novel with people that have read it, and if we need to, I'll be pleased to sign copies if they'll buy it. Thank you.
Oh, that is lovely. That is lovely. So people, you hear, you do have options. So like he said, go ahead and make the connection. Grab up the book from Amazon, or you can get it from his website. He said it was Joe Mack High Novel, and I'm guessing that's .com. Is that joemackhighnovel.com? What is that website? What is your website?
Website is Joe Mack High Novel, or there's another one, the Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion novel, or just Joe Mack High. I think we'll get it too. If you, I think that website will pick it up.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And he's also there on Facebook as well, people. I see now, I just went in and typed it in. I see On Facebook, he has a page on Facebook called The Centurion by Joe Mack High. And, of course, as you know, he also has the book listed on Amazon, which you can get it from there as well. And then there's his website, thecenturionnovel.com. And then you'll be able to see him there. And, of course, that website, thecenturionnovel.com, thecenturionnovel.com, thecenturionnovel.com is where you can pick up your copy of Mr. Joe Mack High's book, as well as you'll be able to leave comments, leave reviews, all of that good, juicy stuff. So let me ask you, Mr. Mack, Mr. High, this is going to be my last question for you. I know your time is tight. Now, what is there with all the, well, this is going to be my next to the last question for you. With all of the things that you see going on in this world, and you've seen so much more than what I have and that some of our listeners have seen, and a lot of people are feeling hopeless, they're feeling down in despair. What words would you say to kind of encourage people to not give up hope and to continue fighting the good fight and to stay optimistic? What words of, I would say, encouragement would you offer to those listeners who are a bit downtrodden right now?
Well, the thing that's helped me, I'm not sure it will help them, but people have helped me all my life to I guess survive the crises and to keep going. So I think if people will help others try to do better and get along, I think it'll help them do better and get along. I'm not sure what the incentive is, but I did have a good I was in the Marine Corps, so I got the GI Bill, and I got a good education, which helped me probably as much as anything. And so I'm very thankful for that. I owe the government a debt for that education. But all that together, I think, gave me an incentive to keep going, and I hope to keep going.
Yes, and people, I really believe if you grab this book, you'll find more power within to keep going as well. Because again, The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion by Mr. Joe Mack High is historical fiction, and people, as you know, that in itself is, I would say, a specialized art form. You know, it takes a lot of work anyway to create fiction, and it takes a lot of work to even, I would say, not compromise the integrity and the truth of history. So to be able to have it to where you're able to blend these two things together to present even more in detail a story to people that they're already familiar with is a great feat. And so I want this to be my very last question to you, Mr. High. Of all the things you've done, there's so much you've done, so much you've contributed to society. What is there that, if nothing else, that you would like to leave the listeners of Articulation Radio with? What is there that you have not yet had a chance to express to the world that you would like to be sure to get out at this time?
If I may do so, I participated and had a ringside seat at the assault on Iwo Jima in World War II. I landed late for the battle for a lot
as
of
a Marine.
reasons. But anyway, I would like to remember the 3rd Battalion, 25th Regiment that landed on Blue Beach 2 of Iwo Jima that suffered more than 100% casualties. I think their effort there ranks with Pickett's charge at Gettysburg and gave Nimitz the basis for his comment that uncommon valor was a common virtue. If I may commend that group for what they did on Blue Beach 2. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. And we commend them as well as all of our service people, those who have gone along and have transitioned, as well as those that still remain among the living here today and that are still going through and going out and protecting the U.S. citizens here domestically as well as abroad. We do applaud all of our military veterans and our active enlisted people, as well as, of course, Mr. Hyde, we want to thank you for the service that you've given to this country, not only as a military personnel member, but also as a citizen and going through and helping other people to be able to put their businesses in place, to be able to help support other families, and as well as, of course, the work you're doing now by showing people the value of creativity and that art still has a place. Art still is in demand, and art still can heal and offer opportunity no matter what age people are. So we thank you for being Mr. High, and definitely you are welcome to come back on Articulation Radio at any time you have. And definitely once you all do pull together, whether it's going to be a Zoom type of thing or a free conference call or whatever you all pull together, definitely let us know here at Articulation Radio. We would love to share the word with people, even if you're not able to come on yourself. We still would love to, put out that word for you and spread that good news.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. It's been a great pleasure.
Yes, sir. Likewise, and you continue enjoying the rest of this wonderful day. Now, listeners of Articulation Radio, you head on over right now to Amazon.com as well as to thecenturionnovel.com. So you can grab up your copy of Mr. Joe Mack High's book, The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion. And remember now, people, this is not just fiction. This is historical fiction, okay? This is going to be something that will help you even with your Christian ministry and as well as your relationship in general. So definitely and someone else. So definitely grab up copies of this work, The Centurion, A Tale of the Crucifixion by Mr. Joe Mack High. And again, you can get it from Amazon and any book retailer anywhere in the world. But the best place to get it is directly from the author. So head on over to thecenturionnovel.com and grab up your copies. And in the meantime, we're going to keep this show rolling for you. Have a few more songs for you, so stay tuned.
Do you frequently shop online and you're looking for a new place to shop? Join the club, jeffersontaylor.club, where models, designers, inventors, and other creators offer customers the best products at fair prices. Jefferson Taylor. jeffersontaylor.club. Join the club. Shop today. jeffersontaylor.club.
Articulation Radio, thanks you so much for listening. So head on over right now to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts on today's episode. In the meantime, we're going to keep the show rolling for you. If you'd like more information on how you can be an eyelash artist, call us at 314-560-1641 or 888-585-LASH, lashingoutloudinc.com. Up next is In Times of Trouble by Martin Clem, followed by There Is a Light by the Stonekeepers featuring David Manuel. Want to buy stocks, jewels, real estate, or other high-end items? Would you love to be able to contribute to charitable initiatives but cannot do these things with the money you currently have? Join Regal City Investment and Social Club, where you can pool money each month with other investors to make major purchases, give to the needy, and possibly turn a profit. www.regalcity.xyz. Become a Regal citizen today by joining Regal City Investment and Social Club. regalcity.xyz.
Would you like a motivational speaker to come to your company or organization to speak to your group? Visit lifespurposeministries.com. That's lifespurposeministries.com.
Whenever you're down, out in the cold, faithless and dark, your story's untold. Come take my hand and walk there with me. I know a place where we can be free. There is a light shining for you, guiding your way, helping you through. And shadows and gloom are all that you see. We'll find a place where we can be free. From the mountaintop down to the deepest valley, hear a voice calling you. It's the rising sun shining in the darkest alley. Can't you see you will be free? I have been far, I have been wide, searching for peace, somewhere to hide. Now I am free, open and pure, fearless and babe, I am secure. There is no dark that can't be lit. We'll find a way if we just commit. We are one. There is no them and us. Together we're strong. Together we're free. From the mountaintop down to the deepest valley, hear a voice calling you. It's the rising sun shining in the darkest alley. Can't you see you will be free? Can't you see you will be free? You will be free.
Weddings are expensive, but your love is worth it. Go to marryusnow.us to book the Minister of Love to officiate your wedding today. The fee is only $200 if your wedding is in the city of Chicago, and there's only a small fee to get the Minister of Love to travel outside of Chicago to your wedding location. Book the Minister of Love today. Visit marryusnow.us. That's marryusnow.us.
Why does it have to be all good things must come to an end? And this is the end of this great episode of Articulation Radio, hosted by yours truly, Goddess Sage. I encourage you to not be a forgetful listener, to apply the wisdom that you've received today and take action and assist the cause that you heard about on today's episode, as well as be sure that you take action in your own life on fulfilling not only your own dreams, but also helping improve the lives of the people that you know. And as we always say here when we close out the day's episode, the staff here at Articulation Radio loves you. We thank you. We look forward to seeing you, talking to you, playing your music on an upcoming episode, as well as running your ad for your business or product on an upcoming episode of Articulation Radio. So be sure to head on over to articulationmedia.club right now. Re-listen to this episode as well as listen to past episodes, and make sure that your ad is played and your songs are spun. In the meantime, you keep being a doer, keep being a move maker, and keep making things pop, baby. Articulation.